is an international relation theory that places a significant value on the state's role in global politics as well as national interests and powers. Since after the end of the World War II, the realism has dominated the scholarly study of international relations. The most accurate explanation of state behavior and a set of policy recommendations are offered by realists, particularly with regard to the distribution of the power among states and how to address the elements of uncertainty that are inherent in international affairs. The history of realism began with a movement that flourished in France in the 19th century. This movement's primary goal is to portray reality by using naturalistic depictions of actual incidents and issues. If the English philosopher Thomas Hobbes has been called a father of realism, then the Greek historian Thucydides must surely be his forefather. Just like modern realist scholars have been influenced by Thucydides, the story of the Peloponnesian War, the war exerted considerable influence on Hobbes, who translated it into English in the early 17th century. In many ways, Hobbes has taken ideas of Thucydides and arranged them in the highly structured frameworks of the first social contract theory. Realism.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is ZURAIDA binti JALALUDDIN. My matric number is 2024-568307. So, realism is one of the most influential theories in the field of international relations, working in a view of human nature and the structure of the international system. Realism explains the behavior of state in a world that is often defined by competitions, conflicts, and power dynamics. So let's break down the core principles that form the foundation of realist thought. First, let's talk about human nature. Realism posits that humans are inherently power-seeking and competitive. This idea comes from philosophers like Thomas Hobbes, who argue that humans are driven by an instinctual desire to dominate and secure resources. This trait isn't just limited to individuals. It extends to states as well. Since states are made up of people, the competitive and self-interested nature of humanity shapes the way states interact in the international system. Moving on to the state-centered approach, realists view the state as the primary actor in global affairs. States are seen as unitary, rational entities that pursue their national interests, primarily focused on security and survival, while other actors like multinational corporations or international organizations do play a role. Realists argue that it is the state that holds the most power and makes the most critical decisions on the world stage. Next, we come to the anarchy. Realists believe that the international system is anarchic, meaning there is no global governing authority to enforce law or settle disputes between states. Unlike domestic politics, where a government oversees and enforces law, the international system operates in a state of disorder without a higher power to regulate behavior. The last one is the pursuit of power and security is central to realist thought. Realists argue that states are constantly striving to ensure their survival in this uncertain anarchy world. Power, especially military and economic power, is the key to achieving that security. In conclusion, realism in international relations emphasizes four core principles: the power-seeking nature of humans, the central role of states, the anarchy structure of the international system, and the importance of power and security. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is NOOR So my matric number is 2023-686-458. So today I will discuss you about human nature within the theory of realism in international relations. We look at the how realism interpret in human nature, its implication for the state behavior, and how this perspective shape global politics. What is human nature? human nature is a core component of realist theory. Realists, particularly classical realists, believe that human nature is fundamentally selfish and driven by desire for power. This view is rooted in the ideas of thinkers like Thomas Hobbes. Look at the slide, who argue that human is motivated by fear, self-interest, and the need to dominate others. Realism thus projects the straight to states, suggesting that just as individuals seek a power, so do states. Still about the Thomas Hobbes and the state of nature. Who is Thomas Hobbes? Thomas Hobbes is someone who gives idea in the theory realism. Thomas Hobbes is often referred in realist theory. In the famous work, Leviathan Hobbes described the state of nature, a hypothetical condition in which human exists without a government. He argued in this state, life would be solidarity, poor, nasty, British, and short. Hobbes believed that individuals are driven by self-preservation and distrust of others, leading to constant conflict. Realists apply this concept in the international arena, seeing the world as a state of nature where state acts out of self-preservation. The example is story in theory realism. So everyone knows the realist idea about human nature and power politics can be observed throughout history. For example, we can see during the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a fierce struggle for dominance, constantly trying to counter each other's influence. And realists argue that this behavior aligns with the idea of state acting in their self-interest and seeking to maximize the power in a system of architecture and competition. To the next slide, I will going to explore the key concept in international relations, the idea that the power is central to the realist framework. Firstly, realism as a theory suggests that the international system is defined by anarchy, a lack for a global government or overreaching authority in such as a system. Power is everything. Is it a currency the state uses to ensure their own survival? So let's dive into my power holds a crucial role in realism. Firstly is a power as survival. First, let's talk about the power. Power is an anarchy, a world where no global authorities exist to enforce rule or protect states. The primary concern for any state that the survivor power, especially its military and economic power, become the primary tool and state to protect themselves from potential threat. Secondly, political theories, hence Morgenthau, a key figure in realism. Put it simply, power is both the mean at the end in politics. According to him, states are constantly driven to accumulate power, not only to survive but also to secure their sovereignty and independence. Security dilemma. What is security dilemma? Security dilemma is when one state increases a power set by expanding military, other states feel threatened. They in turn increase their own power to protect themselves. This can lead to an arms race where each state effort to secure itself actually make everyone less secure. For example, we can give you China claim the islands, separate island as their right.
Now, I will continue with the third and fourth analysis of the realism theory. So, what is anarchy in realism? It means they are independent by itself, as there is no any of global government or higher authority that can regulate that state. So basically, as you can see from the diagram, anarchy of United States and China, they are independent for themselves as they compete for each other in military service and influence. In fact of that, they don't need any of self-help system, as they did not rely to other states to seek help. Thus, this situation lead to the security dilemma as they feel threatened by other states. For example, United States has strong military security better than China. For the last one analysis, which is national interest and survival. So in this context, what is the meaning of national interest? So the national interest is meaning by the state tend to focus on each self-national interest. So basically, if they have their own resources or any of their specialties, they have to keep it and using their skill to have the benefit from their own national interest. So as you can see from the picture above, there are 4 pictures. So each of state they achieve their goals in each aspect, which are first, military service, second, economic prosperity, third, territorial integrity, and last one, political stability. So they have their own goals to achieve each of that, so that it will proven that they can be one of the independent state using the realism theory. So for the second, what is the meaning of survival? So in this context of realism, they survive and maintain their national security. So basically for this, their security, they use it well and without rely on other state using self-help system. Same for the point for threat analysis. So I think that's all about my part. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. My name is NOOR ZULAIKHA binti AHMAD RAZALI and my ID student is 2023262234. So today I will be summarizing and make a conclusion about our topic today, which is realism. To summarize, realism remains one of the most enduring theories in international relations. It views states as the primary actors, each governed by their own natural interests, often defined in terms of power. The impact of realism can be seen in its influence on global security policies, power balancing, and military alliances. Realism's emphasis on practice outcomes over idealistic goals has shaped many historical events and continues to be a valuable tool in understanding current international, from regional disputes to power dynamics between superpowers. Last but not least, it can be concluded that realism provides a critical lens through which to examine the motivation and actions of states in the international arena. By emphasizing power, competition, and self-interest, it helps us comprehend why conflicts arise and why cooperation can be challenging. Despite critics for its perceived pessimism, realism remains relevant, particularly in today's complex world, where national interests often take precedence over global cooperation. This perspective reminds us of the importance of preparing for both competition and cooperation as states navigate the uncertain terrain of international relations. That's all from us. Thank you for watching.